Hello. Hello, hello. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the stream. I forgot to set my announcement on the Discord. Let me do that. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me and can you see me? And is the music too loud? What's up? What's up? I want to make a poll. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone has got an enjoyable weekend coming up. Hello, Betty Confetti. Hello, Pensive Whiskers. Wait, I forgot how to do a poll. Oh, there we go. Wait, what is start a Q&A? You can ask anything. You can ask anything. How's my day going? It's going pretty good so far. Have not really done much of anything today. It's been a bit of a day of rest, I guess, a lazy day. How do you find the topics you talk about? How do I find them? I don't know. I have a long list of potential topics and I just add to the list whenever something comes to my head. I mean, these days most of my videos are about TV shows, so I usually just start out by thinking about what TV show that I want to watch or talk about, and then usually just go from there. But I don't know. I mean, I get sparks of ideas all over the place, and I just always try to have I just always try to record ideas as they come to me. And you know, when you do YouTube for long enough, you kind of you get to the point where you're generating a lot of ideas. And I imagine that most YouTubers, especially like most professional YouTubers, probably have like hundreds of ideas written down somewhere. But yeah, these days it's mostly about what show do I want to watch and what is interesting about that show. Have I seen Paradise on Hulu? I have not. Electric Low Main, thank you for the $5. What up, T1J? Heiko, what's the living situation these days? You live by yourself? Do you have pets? Any new hobbies outside chess, D&D, etc.? I do live by myself, and I do not have any pets. Any new hobbies? I don't think I have any new hobbies. I guess it's just the same old stuff. Yeah, I still play chess. I still play D&D. Nothing new that I can think of. What dat mouth do? It speak, it eat. I love the channel. I appreciate that, Betty. Have you heard of the band Slay Squad? No, I have not. It earn you a paycheck. Keep at it, man. For sure. So what do you guys got going this weekend? I have to watch wrestling tomorrow. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to. Because tomorrow is SummerSlam. Well, Saturday and Sunday is SummerSlam, but I also have my D&D game on Sunday, so I've got a full weekend. Check out Slay Squad Gumbo. It's a sick music video. Okay. I'll try to remember to check that out. What show have you wanted to talk about most but haven't been able to force yourself and do it? Like I said, I have a long list, so there's many shows that I want to talk about that I haven't been able to do yet. Generally, the main thing that would keep me that would discourage me from talking about a show is that when I do videos, I try to watch the entire show in full, and some shows are just very long. So there's a lot of long shows that I want to talk about, but it's an ordeal to actually sit and have to watch all the episodes. Examples of that would be Full House. There's like 200 episodes of Full House. King of the Hill, there's a bunch of episodes. It's Always Sunny, which is, it's like still on, but there's a bunch of episodes of that as well. Although not as many as you would think, considering how many seasons there are. They have kind of like shorter seasons than average, but yeah. So that's probably the main reason that there's a show that I want to do that I have not done. But, also maybe I just haven't got to it yet. I think I missed it, but is the gaming streams poll for video games only? Well, you didn't miss anything. I haven't even really talked about it yet, but I would say mostly video games, but not necessarily only video games only. I'm not sure what other games you have in mind, but not necessarily, but probably mostly video games. Just saw this on my Discovery and decided to pop in. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you? Certified Freak. That's a great name. Electric Love Main, thank you for the $10. There's a new channel I'm following called Remember When that has a lot of good retrospectives of TV stuff. I think I've heard of Remember When. I went down an A-Team rabbit hole recently. A-Team is dope. I remember that show. And Knight Rider, super campy shows. Yeah, I love both of those shows actually. Who's gonna win wrestling? I don't know for sure, but several people. Have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? I have not. Do you like horror games? Honestly, not really. Horror games are intense. It depends though. But yeah, these days horror games are like super intense. Like they're designed to like traumatize you. And I don't know, I just don't have the stomach for it, I guess. Like I can deal with horror movies to some extent. And I love playing like horror tabletop games. But horror video games are like intense because I think it's because in a horror video game you are completely out of control and it's happening to you. Like when you're watching a movie it's happening to someone else, but in a video game it's happening to you and it's a lot. And I feel like they're, every time they come out with a new game that they're trying just a new way to like traumatize people. So, I don't know. It's not my jam really. Board games? Oh yeah. I mean, if I could get people on the channel to play board games with, that would be great. Board games usually require more than one person. That's the problem. Also, board games are a little harder to just facilitate production wise because you need to like see it. I mean, I guess I could play like board games online. I was playing Uno online the other day. I forgot how fun Uno is. Not that Uno's a board game. I guess it's more of a card game, but you know what I mean. What did you think of the reaction of Hulk Hogan's death? What did I think of it? I don't know if I thought much about it. I saw a lot of mixed reactions. Not mixed reactions, but I saw polarizing reactions. Um, People who enjoy wrestling, a lot of people who enjoy wrestling, who are big fans of wrestling, you know, expressed, you know, mourned the death of, one of the greatest, one of the absolute goats of professional wrestling for sure. But also a lot of people didn't like Hulk Hogan. And sometimes people celebrate when people that they think are bad die. I think it's a little bit of a bad look to celebrate the death of most people, but that's just my opinion. But you can definitely criticize someone that did shitty things. I have no issue with doing that, but um when someone dies it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit rude. Also considering the fact that, a person's death does not only affect them, it affects the people that they love and the people that they cared for and the people that they took care of and things like that. Would you be interested in doing a video on Mickey? Like Mickey Mouse? Age 40. Mickey Mouse? What about Mickey Mouse? I don't really have anything to say about Mickey Mouse, I don't think. But anyway, the purpose of this poll, I'm thinking of if the title of this stream is not obvious, I would like to start streaming more frequently, and I'm thinking of doing twice a week with one stream like this where I'm just talking, or maybe have a topic to talk about, or just do this sort of ask me anything type streams, and then have another stream where I'm gaming. But I wanted to see if people are even interested in the gaming side of things. I don't know that people are. Jason Newity, thank you for the 449. I guess that's Australian. Do I have fingers? I do have fingers. Hey there, just wanted to know how you doing. How you feeling recently? I'm good. I'm Yeah, I'm good. I have no complaints. I'm a little tired actually, but um no, you know when you're like tired but not sleepy, that's kind of how I feel right now. And honestly, after a certain age, you're kind of always tired. That's just kind of how life is. But I'm generally positive and content. How do you feel about getting piercings? Needles scare me, but I like the look. I have no problem with piercings. I don't think I want any. I don't have any piercings, and I don't think I want any piercings. When I was younger, I wanted piercings, but my mom wouldn't let me get them. But I'm kind of glad. Like when I was in high school, I really wanted to get eyebrow piercings. But my mom told me that I couldn't do it. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't. I mean, I'm not. I guess it would have been fine. It's not like I had to keep them forever. But I don't. I would definitely not do that now. But yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't think it's for me at this point. If you were born deaf, what language would your inner voice think in? I don't know. You can probably find a deaf person to ask that. Probably the language that they understood. I mean, even though you can't speak, you can still, or even though you can't hear, you can still like have language. Like you can probably still read. And a lot of people who are deaf can still like speak language. The way I see it, the character wrestler of Hulk Hogan is a culture icon and representation of the 80s, but as far as the person, Terry Bollea, that guy was a turd. Yeah, and I mean that seems to be the case, and I've said this many times in videos and streams, but I think you have to separate people from the stuff that they make, or else you just don't get to enjoy anything, you know? Nice fingers. Weird, but thanks. Do I have hands? Yeah, my fingers are attached to my hands. Did you hear about the massive body of evidence suggesting that Donald Trump stole the election? I did not hear about that massive body of evidence. Do you speak a second language? No. I know some Spanish, but I wouldn't say that I know enough that I speak it. I would probably not be able to hold my own in a long-term conversation in Spanish, but I probably know more Spanish than the average American because my half of my family speaks Spanish. But for some reason no one ever taught me. How many times you roll toilet paper over your hand before you wipe? I don't I don't really do it that way. I just kind of pull some out and then fold it up. Electrola main, thank you for the 5. What is your current top 3 video by popularity, and why do you think they're your top 3? And what's your worst, and why is it your worst? I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. What the hell? My I don't know if y'all heard that, but my fucking Amazon Echo just went off. I think when I said electric, it thought I said Alexa. Anyway, number 1 video is definitely the Joe Schmo video. He thought he had friends. They were paid actors. That's my most viewed video by far. I don't really know why it's the most viewed video. I mean, I think it's a good video and I think it's a good story. And I think it's a good story that hadn't been told on the internet really before, at least not in like on a big platform. So I think it was just a really interesting story that needed to be told. And I happened to be the one to tell it. And so it got a lot of views. I think the second most viewed video is the Eric Matthews video, which is currently titled "He Completely Lost His Mind." I don't really know why that video got so many views either. Again, I think it's a fine video. I don't think it's especially better than my other videos, but I do think that at the time, and honestly it's still a little bit now, Boy Meets World is kind of having a moment of resurgence in popularity due to many factors, including the fact that there's a very popular Boy Meets World podcast that is going on right now. So that's probably part of it. I think the third most popular video is a very old video that I made called "That Mysterious S Thing That We Used to Draw." It's a really old, bad video, but at the time, kind of similarly, it was like a discussion that a lot of people were curious about, but nobody had ever brought up at the time. Like, this video is probably like 10 to 12 years old at this point. I think that's still the third most viewed video. Worse, I don't know if I could do worse because I have like hundreds of videos and many of them have very bad views. So I don't know if I couldn't tell you what the worst least popular video is. What's your purpose in life? My purpose in life is to make stuff and to help people. What's my least favorite movie? I don't know. It's hard to pick your least favorite of a thing because a lot of things are disliked. And how do you pick like your least favorite one? It's a hard thing to pick. I can think of many movies that I don't like. I don't know if I can pick least favorite though. Favorite dinosaur? I haven't thought about that in a long time. I think when I was a kid, it was the Stegosaurus. Do you have arms? Yep, my fingers are attached to my hands, which are attached to my arms. Who is Saad? Hey, if you could talk to 18-year-old you for 15 minutes, what would you tell him? 15 minutes? I would need more than 15 minutes. What would I tell him? Um, I would tell him to save your money. That'd be probably the number one thing. Save and invest your money. Especially because 18-year-old me uh was about to go to college and make a lot of money because I worked like 50 hours a week and had zero expenses. So I just had a bunch of money laying around. Don't know where all that money went. I have nothing to show for it. So I probably would tell him save and invest your money for sure. Um, and then I would also say that stop stop being obsessed with girls. There is more to life than getting girls to date you and kiss you. That's something that I needed to be told at that time. Um, and there's things that I could say that I don't think that I would even listen to or be able to process. Like, I would probably say something like, school has been very easy for you, but life is not going to be as easy as school was. So you need to buckle up and like learn some work ethic, because that's something I definitely did not understand when I was 18. What's your credit card number, expiry date, and three numbers on the back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 01, 01, 1, 2, 3. Would you rather tomatoes taste like crackers or cheese taste like Dr. Pepper? Definitely tomatoes tasting like crackers. I think cheese is great how it is. That would mess up so many things if the taste of cheese changed. I could do without tomatoes. How do you most effectively increase the range of your orbit in space? I have no idea. I don't even know if I understand the question. How many pineapples can you eat without getting full? Probably less than one. What's your opinion on MF Doom and Mad Lib, Mad Villainy? I think MF Doom is like one of the best lyricists ever. I don't think he's that entertaining as like a performer slash rapper, but just from a purely lyrical standpoint, he's like one of the best ever. Am I gonna go through the data from the survey I made? I already did that. You can watch the stream of me doing that on my channel. I think if you go to my channel, and go scroll down to the playlist of the stream VODs, you can find it. Did you know the Stegosaurus had a second smaller brain in its hip? I did not know that. So are those arms of yours attached to like some shoulders? They certainly are. Invest in Bitcoin? Well, guys, I'm old. When I was 18, Bitcoin did not exist. Do you make a living out of your channel? I do. Being a YouTube slash general internet person is my full-time job. Uh, so feel free to donate because it helps pay the bills and it helps make the videos better. I hope that people think that the videos have gotten better over time. And having more resources allows me to do that. Gotta dig through the VODs? No, just go to my channel. The playlists are. It's probably like the fourth one in the line. Go to the main channel and scroll down till you see the Stream VODs playlist. It's like. Is it on there? Hold on. Yeah, it's the third one. Literally the third one. Who would you like to be in 10 years and what do you think you'd have to do to get there? I don't know. That's those kind of questions are always hard because I don't think that it's very hard to predict what's going to happen in 10 years. That's a long time. Generally, I don't know. I think life changes drastically in that amount of time for the most part. Maybe I'm old enough to where it won't change that much. But I have no idea. I mean, I'd like to be, financially independent and happy and I don't know, just doing something that I enjoy, whatever that may be. Um what do I have to do to do those things? Is well, to be financially independent, I just have to make money and be smart with money. But yeah, I'm still seeing where things are where things will take me. Lecture man, thank you for the 5. How do you structure your business for tax purposes? Like, do you have an LLC? Do you do your own taxes? Do you have other rev streams connected to the channel? Um, I do have an LLC. Taxes are really complicated for businesses and self-employed people. But yeah, I I generally have done my own taxes. I think going forward, I'm probably going to have to get help from a CPA or something because it just gets more complicated as time goes on, and if you want to like do more complex things with your business and stuff. But yeah, I do have a LLC. I do have all that. Do I have other revenue streams? Yes, I'm not sure what revenue streams you're talking about, but there's like AdSense, which is like literally YouTube ads, but then there's other revenue streams. There's like donations and Patreon and sponsors and and affiliates and stuff like that. Dude, you rock. Thanks. Can you make some videos on that 70s show? That 70s show is on my list. I have a list of shows that I would like to watch. Hey, I'm just passing by, but I wanted to ask if I should play, I assume that's Battlefield 4 or read a book. I don't know yet. What are the pros and cons of each? The answer to the orbit question is at the periapsis, the lowest point in orbit, you increase your velocity, which drastically increases the height of your Apoapsis, highest point of orbit. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I would definitely watch you stream games. Cool. So my current thought, I'm not sure, but my current thought is I want to start streaming twice a week. One stream where I just hang out like this. Maybe I'll have like a topic or a theme for the stream. So that one day, and I'm thinking Friday like today, and then another stream where I play games. Because I want to get back into gaming, and a good way to do that is to make it content. And that stream might be Saturday, probably earlier in the day. But that's what I'm thinking. Maybe Friday and Saturday. Flora, thank you for the donation. I don't know what R is. Is that like rubles? Favorite game and why? Do you mean favorite video game? I just kind of have a default answer because so I don't have to think of it, but probably my favorite game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That game, but a lot of that is just nostalgia and just the time that I played it. But yeah, that game moved me probably more than any other game that I can think of. Unfortunately, I can't donate, but I'm subscribed to your channel and I like the live. I appreciate that. Yeah, obviously, if you cannot donate, then there's no pressure to do so. You watching the videos and watching the live helps. What does it mean to be an icon? Legend gets thrown around too much. Icon should be for a select group. Yeah, I guess it depends on the genre of thing that you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. What's the difference between an icon and a legend? I feel like you can use those interchangeably. I'm trying to think of something that I would consider one but not the other. And I feel like in most cases I'd use them interchangeably. I think maybe a legend is just, you know, kind of like a pioneer in a field, but an icon is a pioneer in a field that also like changed the game, that also like did something really important. So I think all icons are legends, but not all legends are icons. Real from Brazil. Got some folks from Brazil in here. Cool. What kind of games are you thinking of streaming? Not totally sure. I probably will get feedback from the audience. I know that one game that people keep asking me to play for some reason is Disco Elysium, so that's probably on the list. But I want to get feedback to see what people like. If it was me, I would probably just play like fighting games and like Overwatch and shit, but I don't know if people would watch that. I think people would want to watch like a story-based game or like maybe something like with puzzles or something that the chat can play along with. Hey, this is a little weird. Hitler or Stalin, which would win in a boxing match peak condition? I feel like Stalin, right? Wasn't Stalin a bigger dude? Hey, you seem nice. Have a good day. I appreciate that. You also have a good day. Reading, pro, it'll feel more productive. Con, I'm really dumb, so I won't get a grip onto anything. BF4, pro, it's been a while, and COD isn't doing it. Con, it's an old game. It's an old game. Why is that a con? Why does that matter? I think you should just do the one that you think you'll enjoy more, assuming that the book is not like for something that's, you know, important. Like if it's not for like work or school, or if it's not for like something that's going to make you money or something. Just do whatever you think is going to be more enjoyable. You don't have to, I mean, you could do one and then do the other one later. I see icons more as people that are recognized outside their niche, like Michael Jackson, Hulk Hogan, and Muhammad Ali. Evergreen is still referenced to this day. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a fair definition. I guess it just depends on how you see it. Play Portal. I could play Portal. I mean, I've played that game so many times before. I don't know why I thought the game people were asking you to play was the Horse Girl Racing game. I don't even know what that is, but I mean, you know, if people watch it, maybe I'll play it. I could play like a dating sim or something. How do you get rid of jealousy if your partner has normal girlfriends? A few suspicious, but most are kind. If your partner has normal girlfriends. I don't understand. I don't think. What is meant by a normal girlfriend? In general, jealousy is a normal human emotion, so you don't necessarily need to get rid of it. It's about how you it's how you act. It's how you react to it. Uh, Ibdo Bell, thank you for the 5. I recommend Darkest Dungeon for a game to stream. Real good for audience interaction. Just don't get attached to your party. Cool. Yeah, I've heard about Darkest Dungeon. I have not played it though. What games were you considering? Yeah, we're trying to kind of figure that out. I know that Disco Elysium is on my list, but I just want to see what people would actually watch. I assume something story based or something the audience can interact with. I don't assume that people would want to watch me just sit and lose at Overwatch or League of Legends over and over again. So, um, just something that you don't necessarily have to know about to enjoy, and something people can understand what's going on pretty easily, I guess. Like it's a weird position because I'm not known as a gamer, and my audience here is not here for games. So, um, to some extent, I think people are just not really gonna be familiar with the games, or at least not specifically care about the game itself. So for that reason, I don't want to pick anything like too niche and too hard to understand. It'd be cool to see you play Civilization and maybe try to win with diplomacy or technology. Yeah, I think I actually have Civ 6 on my computer, but I've never played it. Would I vote for Bernie at this point? Yes. BF4 doesn't feel as good as it used to. It's still great, but I'm worried I'd hate it over time. Also, the book is Critical Thinking for Dummies. It's been sitting on my shelf and I haven't touched it. Are these your only two options? Why don't you just do something else? It doesn't sound like you really want to do either thing. If you're into RTS, Age of Empires 4 is the best. Cool. Yeah, I played Age of Empires back in the day. I can't imagine that would be that interesting to watch, though. Ibdo, thank you for the 2. Who's your main on Overwatch? Reinhardt the GOAT, no cap. Reinhardt is actually my favorite character in the game, but currently I'm trying to learn how to play DPS, and I mostly play Ashe. I think Ashe is really swag. But objectively, I think Reinhardt is the most fun character in the game. Normal girlfriends, as in they just want to be friends. So, are you jealous of... Do you think that your partner's girlfriends... Where does the jealousy come in? You don't like that your partner has friends? Or you suspect that your partner's girlfriends want to be more than friends? Or what are you like, or you just don't like? I don't understand the jealousy part. What Weird Al song would you pick to be stuck in your head forever during the day, and how much would you have to be paid to have this curse? How much would you have to be paid? I don't know. I mean, any song that gets stuck in your head forever would become torture. I don't know that. I don't think that there's any. I don't think it matters what song you pick. I mean, if you're just asking like my favorite Weird Al song, I don't know. I'd have to think. I like Foil. Have I played the remake series for FF7 or FF16? Nope and nope. I don't have a the only console that I have is a Switch, so I can't play any console games. And I don't know, I don't play games enough to really justify buying a new console. If you like platformers, try Neon White. I love Bernie Sanders, but I wouldn't vote for him now. There are a lot of wars going on right now, and I don't see him thriving in a warlike world. But if it was calmer world, I would like him. I mean, okay. I think that I honestly would expect Bernie to have I think I would expect Bernie's position on how to handle wars to be closer to mine than than anybody who was eligible to be the president recently. I've made my own game. You can play test it if you want. What kind of game is that? What's the terminal velocity of an unladen swallow? That's like a reference, right? That's yeah, that's Monty Python, isn't it? I was like, I knew I understood that, or I recognize that. What's your favorite YouTube video? That's very hard. I mean, there's like trillions of YouTube videos. Hello, I'll show you. I'll show you my favorite YouTube video. This is my favorite YouTube video. Hold on. Wait, where's my window? This is it right here. I'm Millie Rock on any block. 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 That's it. Rock on any block. I'm Millie Rock on any. Wait, let's turn this back down. There you go. Wait, is the music on? Okay. Let me know if the music gets too loud. Civ 6 is a good game to stream. Civ 7 is still ironing out the details. Wait a couple years before buying any new Civ game. Yeah, I don't really know enough about it. I know that Civ 6 was really popular. Have I played Mecha Break? Nope. I have not played pretty much anything. The way that I interact with video games is I play a lot of competitive games. So I like fighting games and I like Overwatch. I was gonna say that I like shooters, but the only one that I play is Overwatch. I played League of Legends for a long time. I like MMOs, but really I played a lot of Final Fantasy 14 and WoW. And then every now and then I will find a single player game that I really get into. But that is very rare. But I've played like GTA 5 and I played like Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. Outside of that, I haven't played anything. I'm very out of the loop when it comes to video games. I'm not sure what type of games your audience is into, but if you need a game, I can wholeheartedly recommend Frostpunk. They have a sequel, but I haven't played that one, so I won't speak for it. Yeah, I think what I'll probably do is just take polls and see what people are interested in. I'd love to watch your gameplay of Expedition 33. It seems like one of the best games ever. Still not have played, but the reviews are very good. Yeah, I've never heard of it. What's your take on the meaning of life? Any particular philosophers you fuck with? I mean, I haven't really looked into philosophy in a long time, so I'm very not well versed in philosophers. As for the meaning of life, I think the meaning of life is just whatever you want it to be. I think probably from what I've seen, most people seem to be most fulfilled when they, at least in the context of the world that we live in, when you acquire enough resources that allows you to help other people live fulfilling lives, that seems to be something that fulfills most people, is helping other people. But, I think the meaning of life is different, for everyone. Like, you might be like Jane Goodall and figure out that the purpose of your life is to learn to be the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees, and that's just what life is for you. Why does horror not feel like it works anymore? Just not scary like it was? Um, I don't watch a whole lot of horror, but it's possible that you just don't get scared like you used to. I don't imagine that horror is any less scary than it ever was. Have you seen Hundreds of Beavers? No, I don't know what that is. It's been 5 years since I started watching you. Yeah, I think I got a lot of new subscribers in the COVID era. In fact, I think most content creators probably did pretty well during the COVID era because everybody was just at home. So content creators and YouTubers and streamers and stuff really did well during that era. Uh, and I think it honestly kind of messed a lot of us up because a lot of people got used to that boost in viewership and that boost in revenue. And then when it eventually, ultimately, inevitably tapered off, a lot of people maybe didn't expect that to happen, even though we probably should have expected it. But a lot of times it's just like you see a boost and it's like, oh shit, I'm succeeding. What do you think YouTube content is going to look like if they're plan to use AI to filter out kids based on their watch history is implemented? Um, I don't know. It's probably not going to look that different. I don't know. I don't know exactly about this plan because I think kids watch YouTube, and I don't imagine that YouTube is going to stop kids from watching YouTube. There are a lot of big YouTubers who make content specifically for kids. I know that YouTube has like YouTube Kids, but yeah, it's hard for me to imagine YouTube just um, filtering out kids. But also, I don't think that the average age of a YouTube user is kid age. It's probably like teenager age. Have I ever watched Yellow Jackets? I have not. I've heard of it though. Did I remember correctly that you were into competitive Super Smash Bros? I'd love to see that. I was into competitive Super Smash Bros. And I still play Melee a little bit. But I'm kind of doubting that I'm going to be doing any sort of competitive gaming, at least streaming, because I just don't think that people would watch that. I mean, some people would, but I think more people would probably want to watch something else. It's kind of hard to sort of if you're not like already a part of the community and already like understand what's going on. It's really hard to follow any kind of competitive gaming because it's like really fast paced and you just don't know what's going on unless you're familiar with it. But if people would watch that, then sure I'll do it. How long have you been on YouTube? how was it starting on YouTube? I can probably answer those questions in the same response. I made this YouTube channel, I think 2007 or 2008. And I basically just made videos about, whatever was on my mind at the time. All those videos are real bad. Don't go watch them. In fact, I don't even know if I have any of the oldest videos even uploaded anymore. But I really started to get consistent and decided I was going to be a YouTuber around 2010. And it's been a long process since then with a lot of ups and downs, but I've generally been fairly consistent with maybe some small breaks here and there. Um, and but I didn't really start doing well enough to go full time until quite recently, until probably 2019 2020, around that time. But I do miss like the old days of YouTube when things were just more innocent and more simple, and people did it mostly for the love of the game and not for money. Like, I think it's fine to do it for money, but these days, it's not even about, a lot of it is not even about making good content. It's just about making money in any way possible. Do you think media/streaming services will balance out and find a simple media, i.e., going back to a TV channel format? Probably not. I think that the openness of the internet and the freedom of the internet is always going to provide many, many choices for everything, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We might get to a point where kind of all of the low effort cash grabs that companies are doing might, that sort of bubble might burst. Like all these streaming services, for example. I think it's simply unsustainable for there to be so many streaming services because people just literally don't have the money to buy all of them. I think probably a lot of them are going to go out of business, over time, or get absorbed into one another. But people are always going to come up with new things and new services. There's always going to be options. And that part of it is good. Like, media should not be centralized and owned by like one company or one organization, or even just a couple. There should be options. Um, yeah, Jeremy, in terms of what kinds of games, we've been kind of discussing that. I don't know. It just kind of depends on what people want to watch. My assumption is that something like story based or something that the audience can easily understand and interact with is probably best. Like, a lot of people have suggested that I play Disco Elysium, which I'm not really sure why I keep getting recommended that. I think because it's like a thoughtful game and maybe people think that someone like me would enjoy that. But I guess the game is like starting to be an older game that people don't talk about as much anymore, so maybe people don't care. But I do want to get into I want to stream more often. I've been streaming more often than normal, but I want to get into like maybe a weekly stream or something like that. Because like my regular videos take a while to make, and it just feels bad to not have any content for like 90 days at a time. So I just want to like, I want to hang out with you guys a little more. What's your favorite movie you've seen lately? I don't watch a lot of movies. The last movie that I saw was Thunderbolts, I think. I still have to go see Fantastic Four and Superman. But yeah, pretty much the only movies I watch are the superhero movies. I don't watch a lot of movies. Think I've seen you comment on some Vampire the Masquerade videos before. What about Bloodlines? I would love to play that. Actually, that's a good idea. And I actually I have played Bloodlines. It's like one of my favorite games, and I would love to play it again on stream. Actually, and I never beat it. Actually, I played a lot of it, but I never beat it. Competition breeds innovation. I agree, but I think it's these days competition is not very it's not encouraged, and I think a lot of companies get away with anti-competitive practices, which is why we have a lot of nonsense happening. Um, that's why a lot of people call it late stage capitalism, because we're at the point where making good products does not seem to be the priority for most companies these days, because they've realized that people will buy stuff even if it sucks. In some cases, you have no choice. Like I have Spectrum internet and it sucks, but it's literally the only choice. My mic is Disco Elysium is goaded. That's what I hear. First post here and I make a spelling mistake. I just noticed that. I don't think I really liked Eddington. I haven't solidified my feelings on it yet. That was my initial reaction. Go to karaoke songs. I haven't done karaoke in a long time. But when I did karaoke, probably my number one go to was Say It Ain't So by Weezer. I used to do Kiss from a Rose by Seal, um, which is a good song if the crowd is into it and everybody is singing along with you. But if nobody is singing along with you and only your voice is heard, um, everyone realizes that that song is extremely hard to sing and you make a fool out of yourself. But I mean, part of the fun of karaoke is making a fool out of yourself. Spectrum is ass, but they do have a near monopoly in most places I've lived. Yeah, I mean, I believe I could get AT&T, but it would be like half the speed. So I pretty much have to get Spectrum. Um, and yeah, it sucks, especially here. I pretty much never get the speeds that they advertise. I have outages literally all the time. It sucks. But they don't have to provide better service, because if I want internet, I have to buy it, and that's why people hate capitalism. Um, I I I think that real capitalism should involve competition, because, as someone mentioned, competition breeds innovation, and it inspires companies to make their products not shitty. Because if they are shitty, you could just go to someone else. But when there is no one else to go to, and when all these companies make deals with each other so that they don't have to compete, as in the case of internet service providers, that's when we get into crony capitalism, which sucks, and it's bad. By the way, I actually don't mind you taking so long to post a new video. I know we're getting a good video. Well, I appreciate that. Um, excuse me. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. But it's also kind of a personal thing. I would like to just make more content. It's also good financially to make more content, but I don't want to. I wouldn't want to just like spam shitty content. I made the mistake of choosing to make a channel based around TV shows, and it just so happens that TV shows take a long time to watch. So the videos take a long time to make. That's kind of my bad. Eventually I'll probably come up with some different topics to cover. But that's just kind of what I've been interested in lately. Bless you. Thank you. I would totally be sat for a series of Bloodline streams. Wonderful game, and hopefully introduce some more people to the setting. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because I think that's the type of that's the type of game that's easy to understand what's going on. It's kind of a janky game, but it's fine when you've got like the patches and stuff. And I absolutely love Vampire the Masquerade, and I love World of Darkness and all that. Like I absolutely love that setting. It's so cool to me. I wish they would make another LA by Night. I hope that comes out at some point soon. If you're not watching, if you're into Vampire the Masquerade and you're not watching Private Nightmares, you should watch it. It's really good. Thing is, things start from passion and or good, grow big, make money, get industrialized, and reproduce to exhaustion, and the cycle repeats with lower and lower quality every time for profit. Yes, the problem is the idea of endless growth, which is like literally unsustainable. I'm not sure where. I'm not sure why endless growth. I guess because companies are like a lot of companies are publicly traded and shareholders expect increasing profits. But I don't think that infinite growth is a necessary aspect of capitalism. But the fact that most companies desire infinite growth just inevitably leads to inshitification of their products and services, and that's a problem. But it's honestly that's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the company. Well, I mean that's part of the problem, but and that sort of leads to companies doing a bunch of sketchy shit to ensure that they don't actually have to make good products, including, you know, um, anti-competitive things like making deals with each other or cost-cutting measures, cutting corners and stuff, making things less safe, making, giving you less for your money, things like that. If you could live anywhere and language, cost of living weren't barriers, where would you want to live? I honestly don't know. I mean, because I would have to actually know what it's like to live there. And I haven't really done a lot of traveling, unfortunately. That's something I would like to do in the near future. So I would have to test out a lot of these places, but um, one of my favorite places on paper that I've never been to is New Zealand, and I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. I heard that they're like very strict about immigration, though. Favorite Ozzy Osbourne and or Black Sabbath song? I don't know a lot of Ozzy Osbourne and or Black Sabbath songs. I like the song Crazy Train though. That's a Black Sabbath song, right? Or it's an Ozzy Osbourne song. But that's probably like his most popular song, I imagine, right? So, it's a very non-hipster answer. Very normie answer. I understand it isn't feasible for most people, but I stopped using internet service providers back in October and have been going to local cafes when I need to have internet access. I mean, that's fair. If you don't need to have internet at home, I do not recommend having it. It's a pain in the ass. Unfortunately, my entire livelihood depends on me having internet. But I might look into other solutions. Like maybe there's a way where I could just get like a very high speed hotspot or something. I'm not sure if that's feasible, but maybe there's something like that. If you chose one person slash character to narrate your life, who would it be? To narrate your life? Isn't like Morgan Freeman like the goat of narration? I mean, I'm just thinking of who has a good voice. I'm not sure if that's what you're going with this question, but like, has a good voice? Keith David. I'd want Keith David to do it. I've been eating up private nightmares, fell in love with the people involved in New York by Night, so I was ecstatic to see they had ventured into doing their own thing, set away from official chronicles. Yeah, Private Nightmares is so good. It's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like kind of groundbreaking. I've never seen a game run like that. Also, I'm wondering if it takes place in the By Night universe because they've made references to things that sounds like it's in the same universe as LA by Night. I don't know if they've like confirmed or deconfirmed that, but I don't know. It sounds like it might be. Have you ever thought what you might look like with a handlebar mustache? I have not thought about that. I don't think it would look very good. I don't know. It's getting texted. Hold on a second. I'm being messaged. Okay. Um, I think about different hairstyles all the time. I haven't thought about a different hairstyle in like 15 years. I've basically just had dreadlocks the whole time, and I never thought about anything else. Um, I imagine there's going to be some point in the future where I cut off my locks, though. That's going to be a momentous occasion. But man, I don't know. Maybe I won't. People keep messaging me, bro. Would you want to be Stranger Than Fiction by Keith David? I mean, I guess if I'm going to be Stranger Than Fiction by someone, it might as well be Keith David. What's the worst Disney princess movie? Is this a is this question posed knowing that I made a video called the worst Disney princess movie? Or is that just a coincidence? Do you like Paugs? Sure. Dreads are a huge investment, so I get it. Yeah, I guess so. A huge time investment, I'll say. Not much of a physical investment, at least not for me. I'm pretty sure that all the stuff that happens in LA and by night is considered canon to the current BTM lore because they're basically corporate sponsored chronicles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I just wasn't sure if Private Nightmares was also in that universe, but I think it might be. But it's also interesting because Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I think, is also canon. But some of this stuff in Bloodlines, or some of the stuff in LA by Night, contradicts some of the stuff in Bloodlines. But you know, Bloodlines came out a long time ago, so maybe they've like retconned some of that stuff. Have you seen all 10 seasons of Friends? I have indeed. Would you make a sitcom video about it? Well, I did make a video about Friends. I didn't make a video about all 10 seasons of Friends, but usually when I make a video about a sitcom, I narrow in on one aspect of that sitcom, like one character or one relationship. And I did that for Friends. I did a video about the relationship between Chandler and Janice. It's called "In Defense of the Worst Couple on Friends." If you haven't seen it, I think it's a pretty good video. It's a video that a lot of people didn't watch, for whatever reason. Maybe because a lot of people aren't that interested in Friends. But I think it's a pretty good video. I was aware of the video, but I guess the recent Snow White Little Mermaid live action were much worse. I guess. I mean, I have not seen either of those, but I definitely believe that they're worse. But I don't know. I barely even consider those live action remakes as part of the Disney princess canon. Like, I don't know. I guess I should, but I was definitely thinking of within the context of the mainstream animated Disney canon. I just don't. Those live action remakes are just like some other thing. Like, to me, that's like, I don't know. This is like a reference that only some people are gonna get, but that's like saying the CDI Zelda games are part of the Zelda timeline. It's like, no, not really. Like, I'm trying to think of a more universal example. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even really consider those. If you could be an animal for a day, what day would it be? What day would it be? This is a trick question. If you could be that, that's an interesting way to phrase it. What day would it be? I don't know. I guess it would be probably a day where I had a where I had something important to do, because then I would have an excuse. It's like, well, dude, I was like a sloth that day. I couldn't come to the meeting. I'm sorry. Uh, is Friends just one of those things that everyone on YouTube makes videos about? I don't know. Do a lot of people make videos about Friends? I feel like it's not that common these days. I feel like maybe people did like 10 years ago, but I could be out of the loop. I may just missed out on that. This is my game I made. If you're trying to share a link, it probably didn't work. Or you can email it to me and I can check it out, I guess. I really like the Chandler and Janice video. In fact, that's why I asked. I really like your analysis. I appreciate that. Thanks. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's other things that I could talk about with regard to Friends, but the fact that that video kind of tanked a little bit has somewhat discouraged me from making more videos about Friends. But it could be just that particular topic. Maybe if I had a more interesting topic, because I like, for example, I mentioned Friends in my Roseanne video, and that video did okay. Well, it did well. I said saying it did okay is a little bit of a understatement, but yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I've been a little bit discouraged from making more videos from Friends, because if no one wants to watch them, then I don't want to make them. Got to be April Fool's Day. That's a good answer. They pretty much fully retcon the Quay existing, so it's up in the air with what's currently canon concerning bloodlines. WAD may be one of my favorite things, but the lore can be a mess. Yeah, for sure. And I know they've like, yeah, they've retconned a lot of stuff to be less like problematic. I know that. So, but yeah, I'm fully there with you. I love that whole setting and I love the lore, but it's kind of messy, I guess. My email is hello@the1janitor.com. THE1 janitor. It's cool for there to be another World of Darkness fan, because I don't really know anyone in person that cares about it. And that's why I'm always in the comments and stuff. It's like just trying to spread the love, I guess. And I rewatch LA and New York by Night all the time. Seattle by Night is also really good too. And I really like Jason Carl. I think he's probably my favorite sort of celebrity GM. I can see a video of yours on the Cosby Show being successful for unfortunate circumstances now, though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I used to be like very hesitant to make a video about the Cosby Show, but now I don't really care. Like, I think people understand the situation. So yeah, Cosby Show's another show that's like there's a lot of episodes to catch up on. But yeah, there's a lot I could say about the Cosby Show. I kind of want to make a video about Vanessa Huxtable because she's like kind of the worst. I feel like people don't remember how awful of a kid she was. uh, did you watch the Fantastic Four movie? Not yet. I shall watch it next week probably. I also saw the Roseanne one, but my favorite is the Elaine one because of how deep the video dives into the change of her character. Yeah, a lot of people like that video. I would like to do more videos like that, but those videos they require a lot because obviously I had to watch the entire show from beginning to end and really like study it and research it to really get all that information in there. And you know, it just takes a lot to make. But I'm glad it came out well and I'm glad that people enjoyed it. The dream would be just to make videos like that where I do the deep dives into characters and stuff, but they just take too long to make. Um, you know, if they each got like millions of views, that'd be fine. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. Like this is why you know your favorite video essayists. This is why they make videos like once a year, like people like ContraPoints and H Bomber Guy and Jenny Nicholson and stuff like that. Um, because their videos all get like millions and millions of views, so they get paid for the year just for off that one video, and that's why they don't have to make more than one video a year. Um, I'm not there yet, unfortunately. But you know, I like the fact that I have to work. It's good for me to have to actually like work more often. And not saying that they don't work, but they definitely have the luxury of taking extended breaks like whenever they want. Which is good. I mean, they've earned it, you know. I've been learning some new idioms, but I ain't sure if the idiom someone talks a blue streak is commonly used in the sense that someone talks continuously. Could you give me your native opinion? Um, I don't know if I've ever heard someone say that in real life. I am familiar with that idiom, but I don't think I've ever heard someone say it before. Um, that I think that's probably like a old, like a boomer thing, but like boomers may say that, and also it might be like a white people thing. I don't think I've ever heard a black person say something like that. Um, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, I definitely don't say it. I don't know anyone that says. I never heard anyone say it. But it might be something that like older white people say, or maybe not like older, not specifically white people, just like older, um, country people. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just older people in general. But I've heard I'm familiar with it. I think I've seen it in movies. Maybe if you can learn any language overnight, no effort required, which would you pick? I mean, probably Spanish, just because that would be convenient for me and useful for me because um A lot of my family speaks Spanish, and Spanish is just a useful language to know when you live in the United States. It would be a little bit inefficient because already know a little bit of Spanish. So it would be more efficient to just learn a language that I just don't know anything about. In which case, I don't know if what I would pick. Maybe like German or Korean or something like that. If you can make any movie a Muppet movie, what movie would it be, and who would remain human? Uh, I don't know. I immediately have my mind immediately went to things that would be funny, which maybe that's what you're going for. And the first thing that came to my mind was The Matrix. Like The Matrix as Muppets, that'd be hilarious. Who would still be human? I don't know. I think everyone should be a Muppet except Neo. That would be funny. Nobody ever heard of this 46 from Philadelphia? You're talking about the phrase? Jason Carl has a beautiful way of painting a scene in your mind for sure. I'm a big fan of the way Alexander Ward describes things as well. Crazy descriptive, visceral even. Yeah, I like Alexander as well. But yeah, Jason Carl's he's like I can't even like believe what he does. It seems so seamless. Like his improv skills are underrated. And I also like the fact that he's really good at characterization even though he doesn't really do voices. You always know you always know what character he's doing. Like he's really good at that even though he doesn't do voices. Or he does some voices but not that many. Like I don't know, he's just really good. How do we know if we're in the Matrix? Everyone is Muppets in the Matrix. Everyone, oh, there you go. Yeah, everyone in the Muppets in the Matrix. Everyone outside the Matrix is normal. Perfect. Muppets escape the Matrix. Also feel that about it being nice to talk about some interest in what has been on the downswing for a while because there's been no by night. He needs to make it again, but you know, obviously he does it when he can and when he wants to. But I feel like things like the by night series and wait, what is HTB? Thanks, I won't use it. It's kind of tough to assume whether something is regularly used in real life speech or not without consulting a native. Otherwise, it might sound a little weird or outdated. Yeah, I feel like. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't like advise people on how to learn English because I'm not a teacher in that sense. But I don't know, man. I feel like don't worry about idioms until you like pick them up naturally. I feel like you shouldn't try to force idioms that you don't fully understand the context of. Just talk normal. It'll be fine. Oh, Hunter. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But it has been recommended to me many times. Yeah, I'm a lot less knowledgeable about the other aspects of the world of darkness. I'm obsessed with Vampire the Masquerade and a little bit about Werewolf. Everything else I'm like pretty on the low end of knowledge about. But I'm interested in it all. I say some southern things that SoCal people don't understand. Yeah, I mean, I'm from the South, and I think a lot of people don't know it at first because I don't really have a Southern accent. Or at least I'm pretty sure I don't. But every now and then it'll slip out. It'll slip out, and just certain phrases and stuff. Like I say y'all a lot. Although I feel like y'all has become more and more popular as it's been spread on the internet. Like I feel like even non-Americans are saying y'all a lot now. But, you know, that's definitely is sort of a southern Appalachia type of thing. So I say y'all all the time, and then sometimes the southern accent will slip out in certain words. I've noticed it a lot. I notice it mostly with that long I sound. Like instead of time, like I don't really say time, I'll say time or five. And I'm kind of overdoing it now because I'm conscious of it, but yeah. I forgot there was a Girls Gone Wild reference in one of the Muppets movie. I don't remember that. Yeah, I should check out Hunter, the parenting. I think if he made a deep dive about Joey's character change and progression, it would actually get as much engagement as the Elaine one. There's a lot of material to unpack. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I really like the idea of following a character from beginning to end, especially on a well-written show. What's a piece of fashion usually seen as unfashionable, what you wish wasn't? Fanny packs for sure. Although I feel like fanny packs are like slowly coming back in style. Like they're making like designer fanny packs and stuff, I think. But yeah, I'm a huge supporter of fanny packs. I think they're super good. Very useful and kind of cool looking in my opinion. But yeah, I've seen like some people, some very stylish people with like some really nifty looking fanny packs, and I was like, wait, that actually looks cool. You're like rocking that. I really enjoyed Mage. Yeah, see, I don't know a lot about Mage. I'm West Coast, and I say y'all hecka, hecka, hecka is something we definitely don't say in the South, but I guess everyone says y'all now. One of my friends got me a fanny pack for my birthday a couple years ago. It was like one of the coolest gifts that I've gotten recently. It's just, and it's like, it's good for me as a guy who I've always been envious of women's purses, and I guess I could carry a bag, but it's just it seems feminine to me. But fanny packs kind of solve that problem. Not that being feminine is bad. It's just it's not my jam. I don't really have a sort of feminine vibe. I don't think doesn't fit my vibe. but I could rock a fanny pack, and then I could put all my stuff in there, and you can just like carry stuff that you might need, but you wouldn't normally have on you. Like I could have markers and shit and scotch tape and yeah, sunscreen, chapstick. Basically the stuff that people carry in their bags and purses. A lighter for sure, yeah. Yeah, that was sometimes you get asked a question and you know the exact answer, and that was definitely the answer for me because it's something I've thought about. I use the sporty cross body bags. Oh yeah, yeah. See, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can't pull that off. It does. I feel like it doesn't fit me. I don't know what it is about those. It doesn't look right to me. Maybe because it looks sporty, and I don't feel like I look sporty. They were kind of be trying to be the millennial fanny pack without being yeah. Is there a video that you were proud of that underperformed recently that we can go boost? I have several videos that underperformed recently. The aforementioned Friends video. I don't know if you were here for that conversation. That video underperformed. My Bernie Mac video underperformed. But feel free to go watch them. I don't know if just a couple of you guys going to watch it will like really give it a boost, but I'd like you to watch it just because I think it's good. Do you like other TV genres besides sitcoms? Um, I guess I won't say that I dislike other TV genres. I don't really set out to watch other TV genres though, but if a show is good, I'm sure that I will enjoy it regardless of the genre. But the only genres that I specifically set out to watch are comedies and superhero shows. But I'm sure if you showed me like Breaking Bad, I would like it. I just never sought out to watch it. Like easily I'm a easily amused, easily pleased person. If you show me something that's good, I'm sure I will like it. Any thoughts on Scrubs? I think Scrubs is a great show. It's one. I think it's like one of the best shows ever. Honestly, favorite Ninja Turtle. I don't know. I go back and forth on this. It's probably Michelangelo now. When I was a kid, it was Donatello, but I think now it's Michelangelo. Um, do you remember Gargoyles? I do remember Gargoyles. That show was awesome. It was surprisingly like mature for a kids cartoon. If you were to make a wrestling video, would it be about a certain wrestler storyline era or something else? I really like following individual characters. So it would either be like an individual character or a group of characters. I think that kind of stuff is cool. I don't know. I don't like, well, I was going to say I don't like video essays, but that's not what I mean to say. I don't want to like, I don't want to make generalized video essays or retrospectives. Like, that's kind of boring to me. Like, I want to tell interesting stories about interesting things that happened or like interesting arcs. I don't want to just be like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. I just like specifically honing in on like really interesting stories, like really interesting sort of slice of the bigger picture. I've been a subscriber for a while and I noticed some really significant improvements in your video editing lately. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to improve, and I think going forward, you probably will notice a lot. I'm going to be trying a lot more stuff going forward. So hopefully you guys like it. I was a Raph for most of my life, but now I think I'm a Donnie. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I when I was a kid, and I still have some Donatello in me. Like I like that he's like a nerd and he likes tinkering and analyzing things and rational thinking rationally about things. Like that's definitely a part of me. But these days, I just like Michelangelo and just how he likes having fun and he's kind to people and I don't know. He just goes off. He just goes off feeling, and I appreciate that. He's all about having a good time and seeking joy, and I like that. Not to keep going with the Chandler and Janice video, but I feel the reason it kind of went unnoticed, despite being a very interesting and well thought video, is because people never saw Chandler and Janice as a couple that would actually be endgame, and they also really like Chandler's canon series ending in the show, so maybe that what if scenario does not awake curiosity. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who can say? It's hard to tell sometimes why people are less interested in a video than others. I tend to think just a lot of people are not interested in Friends. Like, I don't know if you're aware, but a lot of people of a certain age range just really hate Friends. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 40 and my generation, I think, really grew up loving Friends. But younger people, like in their 20s and maybe early 30s, they hate Friends. And part of that is, I think, just because it's so popular. And usually, when something is so popular, a lot of attention is drawn to it. And if you don't think it's the greatest thing ever, you'll be like, why is this thing so popular? This is overrated. Um, but yeah, for some reason, a lot of people just hate that show. But it could be a lot of things. I think a lot of people don't like Seinfeld either. Probably not as much as Friends, but my Seinfeld video did well. So, you could be right. Just could be the angle that I took or the topic that I took. Cody Rhodes was just on Hot Ones and it was great. Yeah, I saw that. I was recommended that video. I didn't watch it yet though. Do you play like playing chess? I love chess. I play sometimes. There was a period where I played every day, but I kind of slowed down with it. But I'm sure I'll eventually get back into it. I am a huge chess fan. I'm 27. I don't get friends, but also it's the dividing generational line between me and my cousins. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a moment in time, and it just means a lot to people that grew up watching it. And I think that's just how it goes with stuff. If you grow up watching something, it's always gonna mean more to you. But I still think that Friends is funny and good. Like when I watch it now, it was such a major part of the cultural zeitgeist for a long time, at least with the middle class white folk. I think everybody liked Friends. It like transcended class and race, I think. Like there are some things that I grew up watching that I can acknowledge are not that good, or at least not as good as I once thought. But some things I feel like there are still good. Like when I watch Friends now, I like genuinely still laugh. I I don't know. Yeah, chess is a place I know I can always go deep into again. Yeah, I just love chess. I can always play it. And a lot of times, like the criticisms of shows that people don't like are dumb, in my opinion. And sometimes I get defensive. Like obviously, you're free to dislike whatever you like, but I think people are just not good at vocalizing their problems with shows, like Friends. Sometimes. I also think just younger generations didn't grow up watching multi-camera sitcoms as much as people like my age did, and so they're kind of not used to that format. Um, because it's kind of a bizarre format. It's a format that has like literally 5 to 6 jokes every minute, where people literally all stand facing the camera in a semicircle, and they literally wait after each line so the audience can laugh, and stuff like that. It's a very like unnatural format that I think if you didn't grow up watching that and getting used to that, it's very hard to get into shows that heavily use that format. um and I think if you're like in your 20s, you probably watch shows like that, but you didn't literally every sitcom from the 70s to the 2000s was like that. But if you're like born in the 90s, you saw like the tail, and you saw that when it was like going out of style. And all and those people grew up watching really good sitcoms without the laugh track and the studio audience. Shows like 30 Rock and Community and Parks and Recreation and stuff like that. And so a lot of people think that's the gold standard for sitcoms. So when they see shows like Friends and stuff, they're like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is it like this? But to me, it's a format. And this is what I argued in my Roseanne videos. Like, it's a bit weird to criticize a show because of the format. And I think a lot of people do that. If you just literally don't find it funny, that's true. But I mean, that's fine. But like, it's hard for me to imagine you sitting, like, I want to sit down with some of these people and watch Friends. And I defy you to not laugh at this show. It's funny. Like, you're trolling if you're telling me that you don't laugh at Friends. It's genuinely funny. But I don't know. People have different senses of humor, I guess. Speaking of board games, have you still been playing Scrabble at all? I play Scrabble Go on my phone every now and then. Definitely not as much as I used to. If I had people that would come and play, like I have the board game. I have actually a very nice Scrabble set, and I got this official Scrabble dictionary and everything, but nobody ever wants to play. So I play on my phone every now and then. I feel like Seinfeld is slightly less hated among new generations, though, despite being as famous as Friends because of the more edgy humor and the whole no hugging, no learning motto. Yeah, I think that's also part of it. Younger people are just into edgier stuff. I think younger people are a lot more cynical. Um, and a lot of the shows that became popular in the later years are shows that are edgier and that have like anti-heroes and morally dubious characters and redeemable villains and shit like that, while a lot of shows that we grew up with were always like the heroes are always undeniably good and moral, and everyone always learns a lesson at the end of the day and everything is fine. And so I think, yeah, it's a generational difference in that aspect as well. I heard from the Toxic Manosphere part of the internet that the show Friends popularized the idea of men in shows being incompetent and emasculated. Maybe in some ways, but I mean, it's kind of whatever, you know, fictional characters. I saw the Phoebe actress saying she hated the laughing audience because it messed up her comedic timing. Yeah, I've seen that as well. Lisa Kudrow is the Phoebe actress. I think broadly younger folk are more edge lord, but also a lot of the modern gens focus more on wholesome stuff. Is that true? Literally all the friends were good, but y'all still debate if he fucked up on their break. Yeah, I think it's an interesting debate. I think that's what was interesting about that storyline was you could see it from both people's perspective, and it wasn't necessarily that one of them was right and one of them was wrong, or that one of them was good and one of them was bad. And to me, I think that's interesting writing when you can generate this conflict where it's not clear who's in the right and people can debate about it. And they were also sort of playing up the whole sort of men versus women idea, which is, I mean, I guess people still kind of do that today. It's less of a thing these days, but yeah. I think probably most women agreed with Rachel and most men agreed with Ross. But I generally think that Ross and Rachel were a pretty toxic couple. That's another thing that could be a good video, although that's kind of been said before. Have y'all ever watched Keenan and Kel? I've definitely watched Keenan and Kel. It's more a silly sitcom, but I genuinely appreciated watching it back in the day. Yeah, Keenan and Kel is great. I think a lot of sitcoms meant for kids were kind of goofy in that way, but yeah, that show was great. I think that's what's fun and different about the viewing audience. Is kind of a meme for us, but it was actually really important for people. Yeah, but I'm sure that your generation has their own thing. I don't know exactly what it might be for younger generations. But like for example, Team Pam versus Team Karen, which I also made a video about, that was a big deal when it came out. I don't know if that was a big deal for your generation, but that was a big thing, and it was pretty much similar to the "we were on a break" debate. So yeah, every it just depends on what was happening at the time. What's your social security number? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. It's the only show I can ask men, "Who are you?" and they can confidently say Chandler, Ross, or Joey, which I really appreciate. Yeah, I don't know if that works for black people though. I don't think younger gems are much more edgy, just more averse to forced saccharineness, which sitcoms are easy to associate with. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean though. But honestly, like, see, I don't know, the thing about Friends is I think a lot of people may be related to Friends, but they were not that relatable. Um, like I honestly feel like people related to the Seinfeld characters even more. I think Seinfeld had a better mix of character types in their group. Cause like with Friends, like they were different, and you could definitely tell the difference. But they were all just a bunch of like stupid, goofy guys. Like they were all kind of the same. Um, I would say the girls were probably better characterized than the guys were. But yeah, that was, I don't know. I think I have a unique perspective as a black dude who just grew up watching all these white sitcoms, because a lot of times I really didn't relate to any of these characters. I just thought they were funny and interesting. But you know, Friends is about a bunch of like attractive white people who live in New York City, which is like not what my life was at the time. Which is why I also like Living Single, which Friends was a ripoff of, if you didn't know, but that was about a group of attractive black people who lived in New York City, which was a little bit more relatable, but still not that relatable because, you know, I didn't know anything about New York, and these were all these sort of like upwardly mobile black people, but some of them resembled people that I knew. Also, a great show if you haven't seen it. I would like to make a video about Living Single, but that's another issue I've been having. I've talked about it on stream before. Is I'm not sure if people would watch videos about black shows, but only one way to find out. What's a multi-camera sitcom from the same time you think needs more love? Needs more love? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of shows that were popular then, but nobody really talks about anymore. So I don't know if they need more love, or if they've had the love that they're gonna get, and that's fine. But I mean, there was like the '90s. I mean, just the '80s and '90s was just a gold mine for sitcoms. Like Mad About You, um, Just Shoot Me, Grace Under Fire, uh, Spin City, News Radio, Night Court, and then we can get into the black shows: Living Single, One on One, Eve, uh, Sister Sister, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Martin. So I don't know. Like there was so many great shows in the 80s and 90s. It was, that's what was on TV back then. Like that's what networks put in their prime time slots was sitcoms, because that's what people like to watch. Thank you, leaving now, but I appreciate responses. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'm probably actually going to end the stream myself here in about 10 minutes, so we will respond to a couple more comments. Favorite food? Um, Chicken fingers, probably. Honorable mentions: fried rice and steak, or fried rice, period, and then steak, period. But steak fried rice does sound good, yeah. But my favorite type of fried rice is either shrimp fried rice or just the combination fried rice with the pork, the shrimp, and the chicken. Do you have a favorite Vampire the Masquerade clan? Favorite clan? I don't know if I have a favorite. Um, I don't know. They're all cool. I really like all of them. Maybe Gangrel. The one time that I played in a Vampire the Masquerade game, I played a Gangrel. But they're all cool. It's hard to pick. Usually my favorite clan is the clan of the last amazing performer that I've seen. Like, for example, when I finished LA by Night, I was really into Malkavian because of Xander Johnaray's performance of X, who I think is one of the greatest, like, actual play characters I've ever seen. And also, yeah, Tremere, because um, Eva's probably my favorite character in LA by Night, so I was really into Tremere. But by the end, I just loved X so much. Um, Favorite dessert. Favorite dessert is probably just like, I've been really into brownies lately. I don't know. I had a brownie like 6 months ago, and ever since then I've just been really like into brownies, and I just love brownies, especially like if they're like homemade by someone who really knows how to make good brownies. It's unmatched. Uh, when's the next live gonna be? I'm going to try to stream every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. I may adjust the time if needed, but that's what I'm gonna try for. And then I might also try to stream Saturday afternoons, but that will probably be a gaming stream. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna stream tomorrow, but starting next week, I want to try to stream at least every Friday. That's what I'm gonna try to do. And I'm saying it out loud so I can try to hold myself to it. Huge fan of Malk's. Yeah, I the thing about Malkavian is, and I think about this in terms of like playing the game, like playing the tabletop game. And Malkavians to me are just like it's like hard to play. But when people pull it off, it's like real it can be really good. Because the thing about Malkavians is that they're like mentally weird, and I think you can get really reductive with like mental illness and stuff with that if you're not being thoughtful about how you do it. But when it's played well, it's like really cool. You like Marvel DC movies? Would you make a video about them? One. I love superhero media across the board. I'm a huge MCU fan. Um I'll watch the DC movies, but they're usually not as good. I've heard that the new Superman movie is good, but I haven't watched it yet. I need to do that probably next week. Would I make a video about them? I've made a couple of videos about the MCU. They don't tend to do that well. I don't know. I just think like movies, especially Marvel movies, is kind of like its own genre, and so this audience that I've built is not necessarily the audience for that. But I made a video, I guess about a year ago now, maybe more than a year ago. But it's about Nebula from the MCU, who I think has the most interesting character arc in the Infinity Saga of the MCU. And then I did a video a long time ago about Falcon, who's one of my favorite characters, and I think is one of the most underrated characters in the MCU. It's hard to find players. A lot of people I've talked to end up doing Discord Chronicles. Yeah, I mean you do what you got to do. I play D&D every week, so occasionally I can get my group to play like a vampire one shot or something, but normally they just want to play D&D. What was the last book you read, and would you recommend it? The last book I read is called What Everybody Is Saying. It's a book about how to understand body language. And yeah, it's fine. I'd recommend it if you're interested in that. Are you interested in philosophy? And if so, how do you feel about how philosophical topics are explored in The Good Place? I mean, I think philosophy is interesting. Sometimes I feel like philosophy is more interesting than it is practically useful, but it's definitely interesting. And I think The Good Place does a good job of making philosophy accessible to regular people. I do think most of the topics that they cover are very surface level, but that's fine because it's a sitcom. They don't need to get too deep. But yeah, I think they discuss it fairly well for the most part, and I think that they cover a lot of different ideas. I wish that they expanded, like that show's like really biased to like European philosophy, and they like briefly touch on Eastern philosophy in like the finale, but that's about it. So it would be interest. It would have been cool for them to mention like other philosophers from other parts of the world and other ideas, but as a if you take a philosophy 101 class, they're probably going to teach you about like Socrates and Plato and Rene Descartes and shit like that. So in that sense, it kind of functions as a good intro to philosophy. I didn't know you had MCU videos. Gonna look them up. I think I have 2 total. But yeah, they're old, so they don't take into account all of the new stuff that has happened in the MCU. I have one about Nebula and one about Falcon. Which edition of Vampire do you prefer? I've only played the current one, which is what, 5th edition? What's it called? I assume that 5th edition is the first one. That's the only one I've played, or the current one. Malks are really easy to play in a way that comes off straight offensive. However, characters like X and Jade, despite being thin blood, are really good. And in the case of Jade, are literally me types. Yeah, Jade is. I was gonna mention Jade. That character is so good. I did not know a lot about that actress. I saw her in another one shot. But I've become an instant fan of hers after watching that. My longest surviving VTM character was a Ravnos. She lived for at least 5 years, but died in Gehenna or whatever it's called. This is all way back in 2004, 3rd edition. Yeah, Ravnos. That seems like it would be pretty hard to play as well, because isn't that the one that can't stay in one place for too long? I love that there's some World of Darkness fans here. Oh, they changed the weakness. Yeah, see, I don't know that much about the past of Vampire. I only recently got into tabletop in general, like maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I discovered D&D from watching Dimension 20 on Dropout, and well, I didn't discover it, but that's where I really got into it. Like I knew about D&D obviously, and some of my friends played, but I didn't really get into it until after that. And then very shortly after that, I started watching LA by Night. I'm not even sure. No, actually, I think I've discovered. I heard of LA by Night because B. Dave Walters was on Dropout. He was on a season of Dimension 20, and he also was in. I think Brennan interviewed B. Dave Walters, and they mentioned LA by Night, and I was like, let me check this out. And also, one of my friends um invited me to play Vampire the Masquerade with them, and I was like, well, let me watch this so I can understand what this show is like, or what this game is like. And I immediately fell in love with it, and I think I like it more than D&D now. It's just so cool. I don't know. I don't even know how to. I guess if you guys are fans, you understand why it's cool, but it's hard for me to explain to other people what's so cool about it. It just, the vibe of it is just so cool. It's like so like dark, mysterious. Like it's a little bit cheesy, like the sort of underground vampire society. But if you like buy into the world, it's just so cool. And I'd like to play it more. I'd like to get more into the community, but I don't really know how to do that. Maybe I should just like start some games myself or something. You should check out the stories and history of the VTM lore from 3rd edition. I should, honestly. I know with D&D, I have gotten a lot of inspiration from looking at older versions of it. So I'm sure the same is true about Vampire. The vibes of VTM are immaculate. I love the personal horror of it as well. Yeah, it's I like it was a challenge for me and my group to play VTM because it's more role play oriented and there's a lot of politics involved and it can get really intense if you know if the game allows for it. Anyway, as much as I enjoy talking about World of Darkness, I think we've driven everyone else away. But anyway, I'm probably gonna end the stream here. I appreciate the conversation and I appreciate everybody coming to hang out with me for a little while. Like I said, I'm gonna try to stream every Friday. That's the goal. Friday 6 p.m. Central Time. And probably Saturday, maybe around 3 p.m., but not tomorrow. The Saturday stream will be a gaming stream. But yeah, look out for the Friday stream. And if I need to change it from 6 p.m., I'll do that. No, I'm kind of halfway joking about driving people away, but you know, I do think that there's only a small amount of people that have any idea what we're talking about. So you know, you don't want to dominate the conversation. And also no one else was talking, so anyway. Thanks for checking the stream out and also be on the lookout for a new video coming soon, probably sometime this month. Hopefully, if it doesn't come out this month, that means I have messed up. So probably in the next couple weeks. Yeah. See you next time. Bye bye.